Hi, welcome back. So in this video we're going to take a look at the Iwata AZ4 Impact Junior. Now I've been sent this out from our sponsors at PMP Supplies to give a bit of a test and do a little bit of a review on, and knowing that I love my Iwatas as much as I do, I do have to say I was quite keen to get my hands on one of these little Impact Juniors. Supposedly, from what I've heard from other people so far, and I've been doing a bit of asking around, I know a lot of guys who are using one and they all rate them very, very highly. So when I got the chance to try one of these out, I was really happy and I couldn't wait to get it in the booth. So I have been using this on and off for about a week on different jobs. I've been using it for quite a bit of base coat work on, like blow-ins and arch repairs and stuff like that, and also even like stuff like this where it's just a single panel job. And even though this is marketed as a minigun or a spot repair gun, it's actually, I would say, more of a midi-sized gun. It feels a lot nicer in your hand than the rest of the miniguns that I've tried out do. It's just got that really nice size, so you don't so much sort of feel that you've got a little spot repair gun in your hand. It does feel like you've got a full-size gun in your hand. You've got a 200mm pot on this gun, which makes it ideal for panel jobs like this. For base or for clear, there's more than enough for this. There's one fill for base and one fill for clear, for both coats of the clear as well, without any issues. So I'd say settings wise, I'm pretty much running this wide open, with it being the 1mm fluid tip size in this, and I was running it around about 25 psi for the base coat. Probably a little bit high. I probably could get away with going a lot lower if I'm honest with you. But for something like this where I'm not worrying too much about it going slightly dark or anything like that, it's not like it's a really coarse silver, so I'm not worried about darkening it up. It's absolutely fine at that. I did do some silver work with it later in the week. I did a Mercedes and 755 silver, and I used this and I dropped it down to about 1 bar for my dust coats, and it was no problem at all. I also used it on that job as well for clearing, and it was perfect, and it was even just blowing in the bottom of the two doors. It's an ideal gun for really small jobs like a bumper corner or something, or even just a single panel job. Maybe doing a wing, you've got a little bit blowing on the wing, crack this out for base and clear and you can't fault it, and you really can get a really nice finish with it. I also thought that compared to the rest of my miniguns that I own, like my SATA ones, it's got a lot less overspray. It's got a really good transfer efficiency, personally I think, and like I say, there seems to be a lot less overspray with it compared to the rest of my miniguns. Some of the miniguns I've got, like my SATA 3000B minigun, that's HVLP, and that seems to actually pump overspray out, whereas this, you can hardly tell really that there was any sort of overspray whatsoever while you were using it. And for this job I've mixed 200ml of base coat, so that's the base coat and the thinners together, and that was more than enough to colour this bumper up, and then obviously give the rest of it a nice light coat just to freshen the rest of the bumper up before we got it into clear. Now for clear, I mixed up 200ml of clear coat, and I'm using the Chronox 610 from Roberlo. It's a clear coat that I'm really enjoying at the moment. It's a UHS clear, and it is really nice. It's got a really nice build, and I found personally the best method for me for that is to do a wet on wet application. And even with this little minigun, I was able to do a wet on wet on this bumper with the clear coat and do it from one pot, and I actually only used about 175, I'd say probably about 150, 175ml on the entire bumper. It was really good. It came out really nice and flat. There was nothing there where it was like, it wasn't uneven. The fan's really nice and even on this, and even though, like I say, technically this is a minigun or a junior as they call it, it has actually got a decent sized fan on it. So especially for stuff like bumpers like this, I prefer to pick this up than I would one of my bigger guns, because it makes it a lot easier to get into those areas, like around the grill in the centre there, and other little fiddly parts of the minigun that sometimes you can struggle a little bit just because the actual size of a big gun in your hand. Sometimes it's a bit awkward to try and shoot your clear down in those grill areas and stuff like that. So in that little quick switch there, we have swapped over to clear coat now. Again, I'm pretty much running this full fan and full fluid, and I'm roughly between 25 psi to 2 bar, somewhere around there. And as you can see, even though this is a minigun, straight away you've got a really nice wet coat, and it doesn't, you know, it's not taking a lot of effort. You know, sometimes you get a minigun or you get a little midi-sized gun, and sometimes they take quite a bit of effort to get enough product down, especially with this only having a 1mm tip in it. I was rather surprised that it was able to get such a wet coat down. Now, Chronox 610 I have mixed at 2:1. I've put 10% thinners in it, and like I said, I am literally, you know, it's a UHS clear, so it's not the thinnest of clears either. I was a bit dubious about trying it with this minigun to start off with, because I thought, you know, it's quite a thick clear coat, is it going to spray it very well? But as you can see, it's got no problem at all atomizing those thicker UHS clears. I've tried the Octoral through it, the Rapid Repair clear. I've had absolutely no issues with that either. I just mix that straight, as it says, from the tin with 0 thinners, and that will spray down really nice as well. And because it's got that nice fine atomization on it, like all the Iwatas really, it really can put an outstanding coat of clear coat down with no issues whatsoever. So straight over to coat number 2. All I did in that little short switch there is literally just to make sure that the water trap had no water in it, because I had a bit of a problem with a bit of excessive water in the airlines recently, so I've just purged the filter on the airline just to make sure that that's alright. Just doing a quick check, and to be quite honest with you, this Rebillo 610, it has got quite a quick flash off time, but this is nowhere near flashed off. We are literally going straight over this again, straight over that wet, and I do find that personally for me this is the best way to go with this. If you go straight back to back, wet on wet with this clear coat, it's really nice. Just don't go too heavy on that first coat, and then just put a nice wet second finish coat down, and then I've been giving it around about 10 minutes before it hit bake, and then you've got no problems with salt and pop or anything like that, as long as you just give it that 10 minutes just to dry through a little bit before you hit the bake cycle. And I have to say, it only needs around about 10 minutes at 60 degrees, and then as soon as you've let it naturally cool down back down to room temperature, it is rock hard, ready to polish, and it does polish up really nice, this stuff as well. So I suppose down to the most important thing, where would I put this out of all the miniguns that I've used? Well, with a price point of £144 at PMP Supplies, it's not the cheapest minigun I've used. Obviously we had the £10 smart repair gun that we did from Amazon, that's absolute crap. I've used the ANI minigun. Personally, really didn't get along with that spray gun. I don't know why, I just couldn't get to grips with it. And obviously I've got pretty much of all of the SATA miniguns. Now personally, out of all the miniguns that I have used, I prefer this by a mile, and I am actually thinking of buying a second one in a 1.3 because I'm really interested to see what it's like. It's a really nice gun, and I have to say it takes top spot for me. So if you're looking to order one of these, check out the link in the description for the gun. And this is definitely one spray gun that if you buy, you will not be disappointed. So that's it for this video guys, and I'll see you again soon for the next one.